Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Mandir, Gopinath Bhavan, Shri Vrindavan Dham. Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Patik Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandana Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai, Radha Ramana Ju ki jai, Giriraj Mahārāja ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Shri Vasant Panchami ki jai, Shri Vasanti Rasa ki jai, Shri Vishnu Priya Devi ki jai, Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai, Raghunath Das Goswami ki jai, Pundarik Vidyanidhi ki jai. I'm not doing them in any particular order. Saraswati Puja ki jai, Raghunandan Thakur ki jai. Who have I missed? I'm sure there's more. Bhakti Kamal Govinda Goswami Maharaja ki jai. Anything else?
I think there are a couple of disciples of Saraswati.
Right. We will get there. All Vaishnavas ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Radhe Radhe. Dandavat Pranama Vaishnavas. So we will start with Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, Sri Gauriya Giti Guccha. What? What did we forget? Oh yes, today is also the birthday of Jiva Pavana Prabhu. And Dr. Raju. Venkat Raju. Jiva Pavana Prabhu ki jai. He's the father, Dr. Raju is the father of the twins Sundar Gopal and Achintya Gora, disciples of our Srila Gurudev, who then took shelter and shiksha from Srila Bhaktivedānta Bharati Goswami Maharaj. Vandeham Shri Guru Śrī Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavāścha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Navitam Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Namite Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham Audarya Madhurya Gunaishcha Yuktam Varam Varenyam Purusham Mahantam Nārayanam Tvam Shirasham Namah Dandiram Bhakta Shiromani कृष्णपादाभृतैकवृन्दे चैतन्यलीलामृतसारसारं नारायणं त्वां सततं प्रपद्ये। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे। नमो विष्णुपादाय गौरप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद् भक्तिप्रज्ञान केशव इति नामिने। अतीवर्त्यचरित्राय स्वश्रुतानाक्षपालिने जीवदुःखे सदरताय श्रीरामप्रेमदायिने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने। श्रीवर्षभारती देवी गणिताय कृपाभये कृष्ण सम्बन्धविज्ञान दैवे प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्ज्वलप्रेमाभ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोऽस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतात्मे रूपानन्दविरुद्धापो सिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे। नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भरसम्बोधे पदं चायते नमः। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानन्दवरायते। गौराविर्भावभूमिस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिया वैष्णवः सर्वभौमश्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणासिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जयतां सुरतो पङ्गो मम मन्दं मतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदं भोज राधामदनमोहनो। दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमदं श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थं श्रीराधा श्रीनगोविन्ददेवं प्रेष्ठानिधि सेव्यमानस्मरामि। श्रीमद्रसरसारम्भे वंशिवततस्थितः कार्शम्बेनुस्वरैर्गोपी गोपीनाथश्रीस्तुनः। वृन्दाये तुलसीदेव्यै ध्यायै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहानामनिर्वापनम् श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणम् विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् हरेर्नाम हरेर्नाम हरेर्नामेव केवलम् कलो नास्त्येव 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 गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Dandava Pranam, all Vaishnavas. So, as today is the day of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, we are going to sing the bhajan he wrote, glorifying Shri Guru Tattva. Very familiar with it, except we're not going to do it in the morning too, because it is evening here. Sangsara dava naladidha loka tranaya karunya ghanaghanatvam. That is page 255. 255. Hare Krishna. Dandava Pranam all Vaishnavas. Wow. So nice to be with all of you every day, seeing so many familiar names and matching the faces too. Forgot I'm going to play the mridanga. And it's Basant Ras, but I can't quite recall the Basant Rag, so we'll sing it in Rag Yaman. Sonam, Sonam, Radhe Radhe, Hare Krishna. Page 255, Sangsara Dava Nalalidha Loka by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Sangsara Dava Nalalidha Loka Tranaya Karunya Ghana Ghana ত্রাণায় কারুণ্যম ঘনাঘনাতম প্রাপ্তস্য কল্যাণম পূর্ণার্ণবস্য প্রাপ্তস্য কল্যাণম পূর্ণার্ণবস্য বন্দে গুরু শ্রী চরণারবিন্দম বন্দে গুরু শ্রী চরণারবিন্দম মহাপ্রভু কীর্তন নৃত্য গীত বাদিত্রমাদ্যম মনসোরসেন মহাপ্রভু কীর্তন নৃত্য গীত বাদিত্রমাদ্যম মনসোরসেন রোমাঞ্চকম পাশু তরঙ্গ ভাজো রোমাঞ্চকম পাশু তরঙ্গ ভাজো বন্দে গুরু শ্রী চরণারবিন্দম বন্দে গুরু শ্রী চরণারবিন্দম শ্রী বিগ্রহারা ধন নিত্যনানা শৃঙ্গারতন মন্দিরমার্জনাদু শ্রী বিগ্রহারা ধন নিত্যনানা শৃঙ্গারতন মন্দিরমার্জনাদু युक्तस्य भक्तांश्च नियुञ्जतोऽपि युक्तस्य भक्तांश्च नियुञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दं चतुर्विधा श्री भगवत्प्रसादो स्वाध्वन्नतृप्तान् परिभक्तसङ्घान् चतुर्विधा श्री भगवत्प्रसादो स्वाध्वन्नतृप्तान् परिभक्तसङ्घान् कृत्वैव तृप्तिं भजत सदैव कृत्वैव तृप्तिं भजत सदैव वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दं श्रीराधिका माधवयोरपारो माधुर्यलीला Sorry, I have to turn off the settings here. 1 second. Wi-Fi off. Bluetooth off. Yeah. So because there are so many personalities and so many amazing holy days to discuss, hopefully we can somehow touch on all of them today. If not, then we will continue tomorrow. But this month is just full of amazing holy days. In fact, here in Vrindavan, today was the parade, you can say, beginning the parade to install the Kumbh Mela, which is being held at Vrindavan this year. But technically it starts tomorrow. So there's so many festivals going on. From today is packed with so many all-in-one, Vasant Panchami and all of the other holy days we mentioned earlier. And then in the next 2 weeks, almost every day is an amazing holy day. So we will discuss what we can, but we will continue on with the next bhajan, glorifying Vaishnavas. Page 38, Thakur Vaishnava Pada by Śrīla Narottam Das Thakur. What?
Can you just answer Anjali's question about the extra verse?
Sorry. When that call came in, I lost track. Okay. So that extra verse, where Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is giving blessings. Śrīmad Gururvāṣṭakam etad uchai brahme muhurte patati prayatnat yashtena vrindavana nata sakshat sevaiva labdhya janushonta eva. This is the blessing by Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Why we didn't sing it is because that one is actually, that particular verse is meant for Brahma Muhurta time. Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying anyone who chants this Ashtakam in that time of Brahma Muhurta will have direct darshan of Rajendra Nandan Shyamasundar Shri Krishna. Yashtena Vrindavana Nata Sakshat. Will have direct association with him and service also. So, therefore it is essential to chant that Ashtakam every day in Brahma Muhurta time. But because it's mentioning that particular time, then generally in the afternoon we don't chant that verse. And also with like Vibhavadi Shesha Aloka Pravesha, our Gurudev in the afternoon would chant Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari, because Vibhavadi Shesha means the end of night has come. So if one is singing that at that time, it becomes a little bit maybe odd. Unless one is looking at it in a different way, like our Param Gurudev's Mangala Arti song, Mangala Shri Guru Gora Mangala Murati, and Tomara Nidrai Jiva Nidrita Dharai. So the end of the night is coming, O Jiva, Tava Jagarane Vishva Jagarita Hoy. But it's the end of the night of the bondage of the Jiva. So now is the time to wake up to your eternal service. But still it is the bhajan for Mangala Arti time. So we don't normally chant that in the afternoon. We definitely don't chant that rag in the afternoon. So for that purpose, we did not sing that verse. But the blessing is there by Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that whoever chants this in Brahma Muhurta time will have direct darshan, Yashtena Vrindavana Nata Sakshat, and Seva. Sevaiva Labdhya Janushonta Eva. Thakur Vaishnava Pada Avanir Susampada Shuno Bhai Hoya Ekaman by Śrīla Narottam Das Thakur. Thakur Vaishnava Pada Avanir Susampada susampada Thakur Vaishnava pada Avanira susampada Shuno bhai hoya ekam Shuno bhai hoya ekam Shuno bhai hoya ekam Shuno bhai hoya ekam Ashroyo lohiya bhaje Hare Krishna nahi tyaje Ashroyo lohiya bhaje Hare Krishna nahi tyaje Ar sabo more akarono Ar sabo more akarono Vaishnava charana jam Prema bhakti diteva Vaishnava charana jam Prema bhakti diteva Ar ke ho nahe ballavanta Yar ke ho nahe ballavanta Vaishnava charana renu Mastake bhushana binu Vaishnava charana renu Mastake bhushana binu Ar nahi bhushanero yanta Ar nahi bhushanero anta Ar nahi bhushanero anta Ar nahi bhushanero anta Tirtha jal pavitra gune likhi ache purane Tirtha jal pavitra gune likhi ache purane Se sab bhaktira pravanchana Se sab bhaktira pravanchana Vaishnavera padodakam samanahe esa Vaishnavera padodakam samanahe esa Jate hoi vanchita purana Jate hoi vanchita purana Vaishnava sange man anandito yanuksham Vaishnava sange man anandito yanuksham Sada hore Krishna parasanga Sada hore Krishna parasanga Sada hore Krishna parasanga Sada hore Krishna parasanga Dino naro tamo kande Hiya dharyo nahi bandhe Dino naro tamo kande teno hoilo bhanga mor dosha teno hoilo bhanga mor dosha teno hoilo bhanga jayo vaishnava thakur 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 prabhu kripa kuru more doya kuru prabhu kripa kuru more doya kuru prabhu kripa kuru more doya kuru prabhu kripa kuru more doya kuru. O Vaishnava Thakur ki jai. All Vaishnava Thakurs whose day it is today, ki jai. All Vaishnava Thakurs whose day it is any other day, ki jai. For Srila Rupa Goswami and the other Goswamis, we will sing Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama. The first day of spring, but it feels like the first day of summer. It's quite warm. Page 148. By Srila Narottam Das Thakur. I don't know if you noticed, on the last bhajan, we were singing it slow, then at a certain point we went a little faster, and then at the end we went slow again. There's a reason for that. If you see the meaning of the words, in the beginning there's more of a prayerful mood, then it becomes a little bit happy and delightful. And then the last one, Narottam Das Thakur, is feeling deep separation and calling out that why have I been torn from the association of Vaishnavas. So according to the moods of the bhajan, then the tune can be adjusted. Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gopta. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gopta. Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita. Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita. Shri Rup Shri Sanatana Bhatta Raghuna. Shri Rup Shri Sanatana Bhatta Raghuna. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghuna. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghuna. Echai Goshair Kori Charana Vanda. Echai Goshair Kori Charana Vanda. Jaha hoite Vigna Nash Abhishta Pura. Jaha hoite Vigna Nash Abhishta Pura. Echai Goshai Jar Murita. ছয় গোসাই যার মুই তারো দাস তাসবার পদরেণু মোর পঞ্চগ্রাস তাসবার পদরেণু মোর পঞ্চগ্রাস কান্দের চরণ সেবী ভক্ত সনেবাস কান্দের চরণ সেবী ভক্ত সনেবাস জনমে জনমে হই এই জনমে জনমে হই এই অভিলাষ জনমে জনমে হই এই অভিলাষ এই ছয় গোসাই যাবে ব্রজে কৈলাবাস এই ছয় গোসাই যাবে ব্রজে কৈলাবাস রাধা কৃষ্ণ নিত্য লীলা করিল প্রকাশ রাধা কৃষ্ণ নিত্য লীলা করিল প্রকাশ আনন্দে বলো হরি ভজ বৃন্দাবন আনন্দে বলো হরি ভজ বৃন্দাবন শ্রী গুরু বৈষ্ণব পাদে মজ্জহিয়ামন শ্রী গুরু বৈষ্ণব পাদে মজ্জহিয়ামন শ্রী গুরু বৈষ্ণব পাদ পদ্ম করি আশ শ্রী গুরু বৈষ্ণব পাদ পদ্ম করি আশ হরি নাম সংকীর্তন কোহে নরোত্তম দাস নাম সংকীর্তন কোহে নরোত্তম দাস হরি হরায় নম কৃষ্ণ যাদবায় নম হরি হরায় নম কৃষ্ণ যাদবায় নম যাদবায় মাধবায় কেশবায় নম যাদবায় মাধবায় কেশবায় নম গোপাল গোবিন্দ রাম শ্রী মধুসূদন গোপাল গোবিন্দ রাম শ্রী মধুসূদন গিরিধারী গোপীনাথ মদন মোহন গিরিধারী গোপীনাথ মদন মোহন রূপ গোস্বামী প্রভু রূপ গোস্বামী প্রভু রূপ গোস্বামী রূপ গোস্বামী প্রভু রূপ গোস্বামী প্রভু রূপ গোস্বামী রূপ সনাতন জয় রূপ সনাতন জয় রূপ সনাতন রূপ সনাতন জয় রূপ সনাতন জয় রূপ সনাতন श्री रूप गोस्वामी पाद की जय श्री सनातन गोस्वामी पाद की जय श्री सत गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय Interestingly enough, yesterday we spoke about Srila Raghunath Das Goswami with a little bit of detail and sang Nitai Pada Kamala, although today is his day. So anyhow, there's no harm always singing any bhajan of glorification of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. So, Nitai Gunamani Amar, Nitai Gunamani. Page 61 by Srila Lochan Das Thakur. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nitai Guna Mani Yama Nitai Guna Nitai Guna Mani Aniya premero vanya bhashaino Aniya premero vanya bhashaino Premir vanya loya nitai Ailo guru deshi Premir vanya loya nitai Ailo guru deshi Rubi lobha kato gano Dino hino bhase Rubi lobha kato gano Dino hino bhase Dino hino patita pamaro nahi bache Dino hino patita pamaro nahi bache Brahmar durlabha premo sabhatare jachi Brahmar durlabha prema sabhatare jachi Abadha koruna sindhu Katiya muha Abadha koruna sindhu Katiya muha Ghare ghare bhule premo yaro baro Ghare ghare bhule premo yaro baro Lochan bole moro nitai Jebana bhajino Lochan bole moro nitai Jebana bhajino Janiya shuniya se Atmghati hoyo Janiya shuniya se Atmghati hoyo Nitai guno mani ama Nitai guno mani Nitai guno mani ama Nitai guno mani Aniya premero vanya bhashaino Aniya premero vanya bhashaino yavani पतित पावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। Jadi Gauranga Nahito by Sri Narahari Sarkar, page 68. If you do not have the songbook, scroll to the most recent post of Jiva Pavana Prabhu, and there you will find the bhajan along with translations and frequently followed by beautiful commentaries from our acharyas. Jadi Gauranga Nahito. If Sri Gauranga had not appeared, then what would have become of us? How would we have survived? Who could have taught the world about the glories of Srimati Radharani and the topmost limit of Prema Ras? Who would have had true insight to enter the sweet rapture of the forest of Vrindadevi and the power to render loving service in the mood of the damsels of Braj? With a simple heart, always sing about Gauranga's glorious qualities. I cannot see even one person as compassionate as he in this ocean of material existence. Even though I chant Gauranga, my heart has not melted. How do I continue to maintain this body? How has Narahari been created with a stone in place of a heart? Jadi Gauranga nahito tabe ki hoito kyamone dharito de. Jadi Gauranga nahito tabe ki hoito kyamone dharito de. Radharo mohima premara sasima jagote jana toke. Radharo mohima premara sasima jagote jana toke. Gauranga nahito tabe ki hoito kyamone dharito de. Jadi Gauranga nahito tabe ki hoito kyamone dharito de. Madhura vrinda vipino madhuri pravesha chaturi sar. Madhura vrinda vipino madhuri pravesha chaturi sar. Baraja juvati bhavero bhakati. Baraja juvati bhavero bhakati. Shakati hoi to kar. Shakati hoi to kar. Gau puno puno Gaurangero guno saralo hoiya mono. Gau puno puno Gaurangero guno saralo hoiya mono. E bhava sagare amono doyal. E bhava sagare amono doyal. Na dekhi je eko jano. Na dekhi je eko jano. গেনু গনিয়া কেমনে ধরিনু রে গৌরাঙ্গ বনিয়া না গেনু গনিয়া কেমনে ধরিনু রে নরহরি হিয়া পাষাণ দিয়া নরহরি হিয়া পাষাণ দিয়া কেমনে গড়িয়াছে কেমনে গড়িয়াছে যদি গৌরাঙ্গ রহিত তবে কি হইত কেমনে ধরিত রে যদি গৌরাঙ্গ রহিত তবে কি হইত কেমনে ধরিত রে রাধার মহিমা প্রেমর সসীমা জগতে জানা তো কে রাধার মহিমা প্রেমর সসীমা জগতে জানা তো কে গৌরাঙ্গ রহিত তবে কি হইত কেমনে ধরিত রে যদি গৌরাঙ্গ রহিত তবে কি হইত কেমনে ধরিত রে সচিনন্দন জয় গৌর হরি জয় সচিনন্দন জয় গৌর হরি জয় সচিনন্দন জয় গৌর হরি জয় সচিনন্দন জয় গৌর হরি গৌর হে 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 শ্রী সচিনন্দন গৌর হরি কি জয় Just checking something here. No. Yes, I can do that one. After Krishna. It won't take so long. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande, page 343. Followed by Shatakoti Gopi Madhavaman by Srila Bhaktivedānta Thakur, page 108. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे मानसमधुकरम् अर्पाय निजपदं पङ्कजमाकरन्दे मनमानसमधुकरम् अर्पाय निजपदं पङ्कजमाकरन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे यद्यपि समाधिषु विधिरपि पश्यति न तव नाखाग्रमरीचिम् यद्यपि समाधिषु विधिरपि पश्यति न तव नाखाग्रमरीचिम् इदमिच्छामि निशम्य तवाच्युत तदपि कृपाद्भुतवीचिम् इदमिच्छामि निशम्य तवाच्युत तदपि कृपाद्भुतवीचिम् ओ कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे भक्तिरुदन्तति यद्यपि माधव न त्वयि मम तिरमाति भक्तिरुदन्तति यद्यपि माधव न त्वयि मम तिरमाति परमेश्वरता तदपि तवाधिक दुर्गतघटन विधाते परमेश्वरता तदपि तवाधिक दुर्गतघटन विधाते कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे देव भवन्तं वन्दे अयम् अविलोलतयाद्य सनातन कलिताधुतरसभारम् अयम् अविलोलतयाद्य सनातन कलिताधुतरसभारम् निवसतु नित्यमिहामृतनिन्दिनी विन्दनमधुरिमसा निवसतु नित्यमिहामृतनिन्दिनी विन्दनमधुरिमसा कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे मनोमानसमधुकरमर्पाय निजपदं पङ्कजमाकरन्दे मानसमधुकरम् अर्पाय निजपदं पङ्कजमाकरन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे कृष्ण हे 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 ओ कृष्ण हे कृष्ण हे Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Now, Shatakoti Gopi, page 108. If you do not have the songbook, then Jiva Pavana Prabhu, he posts the bhajans in the comment section of the thread, so just scroll to his most recent post and you will find it there. By Srila Bhaktivedānta Thakur, Shatakoti Gopi, millions of lovely cowherd damsels are unable to keep Madhava's attention, despite their great endeavor to do so. The flute song calls the name of Radhika. Come here, Radhe, petitions Shyam. When he goes in search of Sri Radha, the Ras dance comes to a halt, exclaiming, O Radha, please save my life by giving me your darshan. Kana weeps in the forest. Embracing Sri Radha and reconciling with her in a secluded grove, Sri Hari revives his life. He says, without you, what is the question of performing Ras? Only because of you do I live in Braj. Weeping at the lotus feet of this Radhika, Bhaktivedānta says, count me among your personal associates and keep me as your maidservant. This is true Rupanuga Bhav. Srila Bhaktivedānta Thakur ki jai. Dandava Pranama Vaishnavas. Did I see Krishna Kripa? Oh, Yamuna Prasad, Taruni, Krishna Kripa, Nandini, Keshav Priya, and of course all the rest of you who were there from the beginning. Dandavat Pranam. Shatakoti Gopi Madhava Rakite Narilo Kori Jata Shatakoti Gopi Madhava Rakhite Rarilo Kori Jata Menu Gite Rake Radhikana Menu Gite Rake Radhikana Esho Esho Radhe Rakaye Shyam 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 Bhangiyo Shri Raso Mandala Kame Bhangiyo Shri Raso Mandala Kame Radha Ameshone Chalaye Jobe Radha Ameshone Chalaye Jobe Dekha diya Radhe Rakho Pran Dekha diya Radhe Rakho Pran Boliya Karaye Kanone Kan Boliya Karaye Kanone Kan Boliya Karaye Kanone Kan Boliya Karaye Kanone Kan রাধারে ধরি নির্জন কাননে রাধারে ধরি মিলাইয়া পরানো জুড়ায় হরি মিলিয়া পরানো জুড়ায় হরি বলে তুহু বিনা কাহারো রাস বলে তুহু বিনা কাহারো রাস তুহু লাগি মোর बर जबास तुहु लागी मोर बर जबास तुहु लागी मोर बर जबास तुहु लागी मोर बर जबास एहे राधिका चरण तले एहेरो राधिका चरण तले भक्ति विनोद कालिया बोले भक्ति विनोद कालिया बोले तुआ गोरो माझे आमारे गनी तुआ আমারে গনি কিন করি করিয়া রাখো আপনি 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 শতকোটি গোপী মাধব রাখিতে নারী করি যতন শতকোটি গোপী মাধব রাখিতে নারী করি যতন জয় রাধে জয় রাধে জয় রাধে জয় শ্রী রাধে জয় রাধে জয় রাধে জয় রাধে জয় শ্রী রাধে জয় রাধা মাধব জয় রাধা মাধব জয় রাধা মাধব জয় রাধা মাধব রাধা মাধব জয় রাধা মাধব রাধা মাধব জয় রাধা মাধব वृषभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा रानी की जय. Now we don't have it in our songbook, but Srila Gurudev said that on this day and for the whole month until it comes, they begin singing the holy bhajans because traditionally holy wasn't just ink, different colored inks, or just powders, but holy was flowers, and today's technically the first day of spring. So Radha and Krishna and the gopis and so many are so happy, they begin throwing flowers or the pollen from flowers, so they get different colors from the pollen of flowers. So today we're going to sing Aaj Braj Mein Hori Re Rasiya. I think it's definitely in kksongs.org. Aaj, maybe it's spelled AJ or AAJ. Aaj Braj Mein Hori Re Rasiya. Let's see if it's in the Gaudiya Kirtan app. got so many apps. Let me see. I've got it in here. You know, the Gaudiya Kirtan app has just been officially revised. And now it's available for everyone. Let's see, can we search? Is it searchable? It better be searchable. Did Jiva Pavana Prabhu post it yet? Maybe I'll just... Okay, let me see. Did you find it yet? Aaj Biraj mein Hori Re Rasiya. Yes. It is searchable, top gray bar. Let's see. Oh, there's a, what do you call it? Magnifying glass. Aaj. You don't see it in the Kirtan app? It's in our Braj songbook. Maybe it's not in the Gaudiya Kirtan app because it's not a Gaudiya Kirtan, it's a Brajbasi Kirtan. Okay, well, I'm going to look in kksongs.org. Sorry, KK Songs Aaj Biraj mein Go. Maybe it's Biraja, B-I-R. So that bhajan, Aaj Braj mein Hori Re Rasiya, it must be there in kksongs.org. Let's see. It is under the Braj songs. Home. Because Gurudev said that they begin singing it on this day. So, let's see. Author song lyrics. It's A-J-A Viraja, D-I-R-A-J-A in KK Songs, A-J-A D-I-R-A-J-A. Where is it? Did you find it? Now you're searching with me. There you go. Okay. Sudevi, will you be able to play kartals? No, there's the ones with the straps are right here on the corner of this table.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Because I sent those other ones.
Yes. Sorry for taking so long. Now I'm going to sing it a little lower. Turn Sudevi up. Radhe Radhe. Try it. Okay, there we go.
I don't have a book, so I'm just going to
She
try
knows
to...
the words.
I think.
Great. It's going to go off while I'm playing. Aaj Viraj mein There. आज विरज में होरी रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होली रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होरी रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होली रे रसिया,
होरी रे रसिया बरझोरी रे रसिया,
होरी रे रसिया बरझोरी रे रसिया,
होरी रे रसिया बरझोरी रे रसिया,
होली रे रसिया बरझोरी रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होरी रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होली रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होरी रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होली रे रसिया,
अपने अपने घर से निकसी,
अपने अपने घर से निकसी,
कोई सावरी कोई गोरी रे रसिया,
कोई सबरी रे गोरी रे रसिया,
कोई सावरी कोई गोरी रे रसिया. 1 second. Can you get it from my... It's a different version than we know. It's got a lot of other things that we're not familiar with. Please forgive us.
Your book is in English.
There must be a Braj Kirtan songbook in there, no?
It's not here. Nope.
No.
No.
I thought it was a... Okay, we will continue with it.
Just do the one you know, what you can remember.
I don't remember it enough.
Okay, come on. Is it all different? Oh man.
Okay. No, we got Kona Kehat, Kanak Pichigari. Okay, so we're going to be skipping a little bit, so just be with us. Alright? Because Sudevi doesn't have it either.
But you can sing it.
Okay. आज बिरज में होरी रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होली रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होरी रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होली रे रसिया,
हो होरी रे रसिया,
हो होली रे रसिया,
हो होरी रे रसिया,
हो होली रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होरी रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होली रे रसिया,
कौन के हाथ कनक पिचकारी,
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 कौन के हाथ कमोरी रे रसिया,
कौन के हाथ कमोरी रे रसिया,
कौन के हाथ कमोरी रे रसिया,
कौन का हाथ में कोरी रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होरी रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होली रे रसिया,
होरी रे रसिया बरजोरी रे रसिया,
होली रे रसिया बजोरी रे रसिया,
हो होरी रे रसिया,
हो होली रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होरी रे रसिया,
आज विरज में होली रे रसिया,
कृष्ण के हाथ कनक पिचकारी,
कृष्ण के हाथ कनक पिचकारी,
कान्ह के हाथ कनक पिचकारी,
कान के
ब्रज में होरी रे रसिया
आज ब्रज में होली रे रसिया
होरी रे रसिया बजोरी रे रसिया
होली रे रसिया भजोरी रे रसिया
आज ब्रज में होरी रे रसिया
आज ब्रज में होली रे रसिया
चंद्र सखी भज बाल कृष्ण छवि
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 जुग जुग जियो ये जोरी रे रसिया
जुग जुग जीवन जोरी रे रसिया
आज
होली रे
रसिया
आज ब्रज में होली रे रसिया
होरी रे रसिया बजोरी रे रसिया
होली रे रसिया भजोरी रे रसिया
होरी रे रसिया बजोरी रे रसिया
होली रे रसिया भजोरी रे रसिया
आज होरी रे रसिया
आज ब्रज में होली रे रसिया
आज बीरज में होरी रे रसिया
आज ब्रज में होली रे रसिया
आज बीरज में होरी रे रसिया
आज ब्रज में होली रे रसिया
होली है I think the songbook is in one of these drawers.
Oh, I thought you were looking for holy powder.
No, don't throw holy powder right now.
Anyway.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, let me see. To make sure everyone's still there. Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam. Guess who was there? Radhika. She would be there when the flowers are being thrown. Radhe Radhe. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama
Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Hare
Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol
Hari Bol
Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gurudev 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 Jai Gurudev 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada 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 Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo Shri Gurudev Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Rupanand Gauriya Guruvarga Ki Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalai Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktāya Tadbhaktāya Namo Namaha Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedānta Swāmini Namine Vanchākalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitānaṁ Pāvanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girin Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad, Ashto Tarashata Shri Śrīmad Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And the same thousands of Dandavat Pranam in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad, Ashto Tarashata Shri Śrīmad Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Swāmī Śrīla Prabhupada, and to all of our Rupanuga, Gauriya, Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas, past, present, and future, including all of you who are present with us today, I offer my Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, dear Vaishnavas, Radhe 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 Sham.
So today, as all of you know, is very auspicious, important, holy day, Shri Vasant Panchami. That is, Panchami means the fifth day. So it's the fifth day after the new moon. Our Gurudev's day is Amavasya. So that's the new moon or the dark moon. And then the fifth day would be Panchami. And Vasant, well, that's the spring season. So Vasant Panchami is today. It's the day inaugurating spring, inaugurating that festive mood, inaugurating holy. And then, of course, there's the day of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the day of Raghunath Das Goswami, the day of Vishnu Priya Devi, the consort of
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Oh, Nimai Pandit.
Nimai Pandit. See, there is a difference, is there not? Yesterday we talked about that. There's a difference. The consort of Nimai Pandit, and then it's also Saraswati Puja, and Raghunandan Thakur, and Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Raghunath Das Goswami and
Raslila.
Basanti Ras Raslila, Bhakti Kamal Govinda Goswami Maharaj, and I think 2 of the disciples of Srila Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So it is a big day.
Jiva Pavana Prabhu.
Also, the birthday celebration of Jiva Pavana Prabhu and the birthday celebration of Yankat Raju. But happy birthday, Jiva Pavana Prabhu. And so because today has a wonderful variety of transcendental personalities to glorify and to remember, and because we require a lot of flowers to do so, I'm going to call on one of the flowers of Srila Gurudev, Sudevi, to begin glorifying these great Vaishnavas. Dandava Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Dandava Pranam, all Vaishnavas. I was saying the Mangalacharna there with Kishori Mohan Prabhu, so I'm not going to redo that. But I'm offering my humble Dandava Pranam to all of you who are also here with us in Vrindavan right now, in this beautiful Gopinath Bhavan. So today is a very, very festive day. In Vrindavan, if you go to any of the temples today, you'll find that all the Thakurjis, they're dressed in bright yellow, like Kishori Mohan Prabhu is wearing. Everyone is dressed in yellow. When they offer anything to Thakurji today, it will be like if it was sweet rice, it will be with mangoes and it will be very yellowish. They will offer yellow rice to Thakurji. Everything is showing and signifying now spring has begun. If you go up on the roof here and you overlook Jamunaji, right across from there, everything has become green and yellow. Everything is bright yellow. There are beautiful flowers everywhere. Srila Gurudev said that just like Krishna, he wears yellow because he wants to be embraced by Srimati Radhika. So all of Vrindavan has become yellow and bright and vibrant with all of these flowers. He said that on this day, especially during this month, the beginning of spring, when all of the flowers are starting to bloom, he said, Beli, Chameli, Champak, Ratki Rani, all of these incredible, very fragrant flowers are blooming. He may have been somewhere else when he spoke this lecture because he was saying, here there is something, but not like Vrindavan. Everything in Vrindavan becomes so fragrant. He said so much so that the air becomes weighted with that fragrance and it's very hard to move through it. When we were at Radha Raman Mandir, and it was during Holi time, they were throwing all of these flowers. Just before Holi, they do flower Holi. And the air becomes so thick, like you choke because the fragrance of the flowers is so thick. And everyone's throwing these flowers from top, from the bottom. They're picking flowers up, throwing it again from the altar. Yeah, it's like 6 inches just of flowers everywhere. And it's such a celebration. And today, all of the Vaishnavas, they go from all of the, especially the main temples of Vrindavan, they go from temple to temple like on a pilgrimage. Everybody will be wearing yellow, and they will be going and seeing all of the different Thakurjis. So it's a very beautiful beginning and a festive mood here in Braj. Also, we know that at the time of Krishna, that also it was signifying, oh, this is a very, like the blooming of love. This is like the emperor or the greatest of all the months. This month, spring, it is new, it is fresh, it's vibrant, and it is starting to spring to life. After winter, it was very cold. Now it's not too cold and it's not too warm. And you don't get that in Vrindavan. Everything is in extremes here. There's loud and louder. There's cold and colder. But this month will be perfect. It is the beautiful month of spring, and this is the month that Krishna performed his Rasa Leela in Govardhan. We know that here in Vangsivat, Krishna was playing on his flute and called all the gopis. So many different camps of gopis. Those who were Svapaksha, Srimati Radhika's own groups. Those who were somewhat neutral to her. Those who were somewhat against her and her sakhis. So many sadhansiddhas, so many different types of gopis were allowed to participate in this Rasa Leela here in Vrindavan. But in Govardhan, it is only those who are Svapaksha, those who are very near and dear to Srimati Radhika, those who are her own persons. They are the ones that danced near Chandra Sarovar, and they were partaking in this Rasa Leela festival that happens today. So Srila Gurudev was explaining how the same kind of thing happened when it happened here in Vrindavan. Srimati Radhika saw, oh, Krishna is dancing with so many gopis, so many different gopis, and I see him dancing with all of them. So she performed Man, and she left that Rasa Leela. And Krishna began to feel, oh, something is wrong, something is missing. Srimati Radhika has left. So then, after some time, Krishna also disappeared from that Rasa Leela. But in Govardhan, it was very different. Actually, if you read in Sri Ramananda Samvad, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking Ramananda Rai so many questions. First and foremost, what is our goal? What is our sadhya? And what is our sadhana? How do we attain it? And then he brings it on a progression until he comes to Vrindavan. And then he begins to explain all of the different moods of Vraj. There's parental mood, there's Sakya, there's Vatsalya, I said parental, and there's Madhurya. There's so many different intricacies in these relationships. And Mahaprabhu is hearing them and he's saying, go forward, go forward. So then he speaks about Srimati Radhika and how she is the topmost gopi. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks, how do we know this? How can you prove that she is the topmost? And then Ramananda Rai, he begins to explain how when she left the Rasa Leela here in Vrindavan, that Krishna went after her. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to think for a minute and he said, yes, this is so. But he disappeared without them seeing. He didn't leave with her. So that's kind of showing that he had some mood of fear. Maybe the other gopis will be upset with me. He didn't let it be seen that he left with Srimati Radhika. And then Ramananda Raya began to explain how at Govardhan, because they were her own sakhis, but still she was saying, oh, he always says that I am his dearest beloved, that I am the one that he loves beyond and above all others. But I see that he is dancing with each one of them, the same as he is with me. The same way he is treating me, he is also treating them. So Srimati Radhika also left that beautiful arena of Ras. Leaving that place, immediately Krishna saw her leaving and walked out right behind her with all of the gopis singing. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very happy. Yes, this is proof of something. And then he started to ask more about this Ras Tattva. Tell me more about Radha Tattva, Krishna Tattva, and the Ras between them. And then Ramananda Roy began to explain. And then Mahaprabhu put his hand on his mouth and said, stop, shh, don't go further. There is no one in this world who is actually qualified to hear this thing. And if I hear more, then I will no longer be able to be in this form. I will become like Krishna and I will forget everything. So he told him, stop, don't go further. We know Ramananda Roy brought him through so many different progressions of what is bhakti and what isn't bhakti. Anything that wasn't actually pure, unalloyed bhakti, Mahaprabhu kept saying, this is external, go further, go further. And then he began to hear more about relationship with Krishna. Not just surrender unto me and make all offerings unto me, offer your pranam, all of these things, oh, this is all external, go further, go further. There must be more. So hearing about Vrindavan and hearing about Srimati Radhika, this satisfied Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. For us, this is something of a clue, is it not? If Krishna himself came in the mood of Srimati Radhika, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if this is where he is saying, yes, this is the fulfillment of everything, this is what I want to hear, and this is what I myself have come to taste, then we should understand that this is the highest goal. This is the highest ideal of love of Krishna. Our Gurudev always used to say, Anya Vilashita Shunyam. He said, this verse is showing what is Uttam Bhakti, the topmost Bhakti. And he said, for us, it's like a barometer. When we chant this verse, he said we should do it daily. And then like an Ayurvedic doctor, we should check our pulse. And we should see, where am I along the lines of this verse? Where am I fitting in? Is everything done solely for the pleasure? No, even benefit of Krishna? Do I have that kind of relationship with him? So our acharyas, and especially Srila Bhaktivedānta Thakur, they have brought these things to the surface, Srila Rupa Goswami, and they have given this to us. This is the ultimate goal, that we should have some kind of entrance into these moods of Braja Prem, especially leaning toward Srimati Radha Thakurani. Srila Bhaktivedānta Bharati Goswami Maharaj, he explained something extraordinary. When we used to go on Braj Mandal Parikrama with our Gurudev, we would go to one place called Paitagaon. Now, at this place, our Gurudev would say, Paitagaon is the victory place of Srimati Radhika. He would say this in many places. I think no matter where it would be, he would consider it the victory place of Srimati Radhika. But this place specifically, Srila Bhaktivedānta Bharati Maharaj explained very intricately why. So did our Gurudev and our Guru Parampara. And so did Sri Ramananda Rai to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Krishna had left that rasa dance, he went to this place, Paitagaon, and he thought, oh, I want to play some trick and show the gopis how magnificent I am. So what did he do? He took a four-armed form. No longer was he like Krishna, playing the flute, wearing a peacock feather. Now he was holding a lotus, a chakra, a club, and a conch shell. He was holding these things, and he was looking like Nārāyaṇa. And all of the gopis came into the assembly of this place, and they saw him, and they thought, oh, how beautiful. He looks something like Krishna, but where is his flute? Where is his peacock feather? And our Krishna doesn't have 4 arms. Whoever he is, he must be very auspicious. Maybe he knows where Krishna went. So they went to this beautiful form of Krishna, and they said, oh Nārāyaṇa, maybe it is that you have seen where our Krishna has gone. We have so much attachment for him, and we feel as if he has left us in the darkness. Can you point with any of your 4 arms which way Krishna has gone? And then they offered pranam to that form and continued on. Our Gurudev and Srila Bhaktivedānta Bharati Maharaj explained that after some time, Srimati Radhika came into that vicinity. Very quickly, a soft breeze came past her body, and it touched her cloth. That breeze carried the scent of Srimati Radhika's body to the nostrils of Krishna. Just that slight breeze. When Krishna smelt her form, he smelt the fragrance of her body. Immediately he knew, "Oh, my beloved has come." And automatically, without even a thought, 2 arms went inside his stomach, and immediately he took the shape of Tribangala Leet, very crooked, bent form, holding a flute in his hand, wearing a peacock feather. And all the gopis began to exclaim, "Oh, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe." All were astonished by this. Srila Bhaktivedānta Bharati Maharaj explains that those gopis that went ahead and were not behind Srimati Radhika or following next to her, he said they were cheated. They saw the form of Nārayaṇa. They didn't see this exquisite form of Brajendranandan Shyama Sundar. But those gopis and manjaris who were following in Anugatya, they were following alongside or behind Srimati Radhika, they got to see the most enchanting, beautiful Kamadev form of Krishna that is only displayed to Srimati Radhika. But not only did they get to see that form of Krishna, Srila Bhaktivedānta Bharati Maharaj explained that upon seeing this form of Krishna, Srimati Radhika's beauty became more beautiful and more enchanting than even Krishna. Krishna, seeing her beauty, immediately had to reciprocate with it. And he became even more beautiful. And seeing that, Srimati Radhika began to reciprocate with Krishna, and she became more beautiful. And a transcendental beauty competition was going on between them. So not only did they see the beautiful form of Krishna, but they got to see the love between Radha and Madhava. So then Srila Bhaktivedānta Bharati Maharaj, he asked, how important is Anugatya, to be under guidance? Who we are under the guidance of? What is our lineage? Who are we following? We are called trying to come under the umbrella of being a Rupa Nuga. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, we are carriers, the sandal carriers of those true Rupa Nugas, trying to follow in that lineage. Such a high thing. So he was telling that we should always be under guidance and in Anugatya. It means to be under the shelter of our Gurudev and our Guru Varg. And anything that is coming externally, we can offer pranam to it. We, like those gopis who went ahead, there is an astonishment at that they saw this beautiful form, that Krishna was able to play this beautiful trick on them. That is beautiful. But do we want that? No, we only want to be in that Anugatya of Sri Rupa, who is following very closely next to Srimati Radhika. This is our Anugatya, following in the line of our Guru Varg, of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, our Srila Prabhupada, who went to the West and gave this to the world, gave Krishna book and this Rasa Leela to the entire world. And our Gurudev and our entire Guru Varga, this is what they have come to give us. What is the mood of the Brajabasis and how we can love Krishna? Once our Gurudev said that after the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this world is filled with jivas who are qualified to enter into this kind of mood to love Krishna. He said that those books can be distributed to one and all, and anyone who grabs those books, they are meant to. We've told so many beautiful histories about Vaishnavas who have taken those books, just put them on the shelf, and 20 years later, 30 years later, their child sees that book, and they take that book, and immediately it's like a time bomb. A book bomb, and that book opened up everything for them, and they began to chant 1 lakh. They began to dive into this beautiful process of bhakti. So on this day, that beautiful Rasa Leela takes place. It is said that the moon became stunned, just like here at Dir Samira. The air itself became stunned, and it didn't want to move, and it became very thick. It wanted to witness these leelas. So the same at Chandra Sarovar, the moon became stunned, and it didn't move for a night or a day of Brahma. It wanted to watch the Rasalila of Radha and Krishna, how they were dancing, how they were singing, how Krishna was with his beloved gopis. It is unprecedented. They have never seen anything like this. In all of the beautiful incarnations of the Lord, as Ram, who is so soft and beautiful and sweet, they have never witnessed anything like this. As Nārāyaṇa, even Lakshmi Devi is saying, I've never seen my husband dance. I've never heard him play the flute. He never touches me and plays with me like this. I also want to become a gopi in Braj. So we see that it is so astonishing that even the moon stood still. It didn't want to move, and it melted into a kund. And that kund is called Chandra Sarovar. We took you all there during Kartik, or maybe after. We went to Chandra Sarovar, didn't we?
No.
We'll have to go. Kishori said we didn't go. So this day is that auspicious day.
We spoke about it from a distance.
We spoke about it from a distance. Yeah, because we started everything at 3, and we only had a certain amount of time before it becomes dark. But now it will be lighter out later, so we'll try to bring you before the hot summer begins. Anyhow, so this day is very, very beautiful and auspicious, and we can enter deeply into the moods of our Guru Varg and pray to them that these beautiful leelas should manifest in our heart. Yesterday, Kishori Mohan Prabhu was speaking about what qualification do we have for this thing. Srila Bhaktivedānta Thakur, in his very beautiful petition, Gopinath, Mama Nivedana Shuno, there he's saying, I have all of these qualities. I'm fallen, I'm weak, I have all kinds of things. Therefore, please give me entrance into your beautiful pastimes. He's not seeing it as a disqualification. Yes, I'm fallen, I have all of these anarthas, yet I am still asking you. That's the epitome of greed. It means there is no qualification, but yet I'm asking you for it. I want it. Oh, Gopinath, oh, you who have become subjugated by the love of the gopis, please give me your mercy. So this day we can pray to Krishna, to Srimati Radhika, and especially to those who we want to be in their lineage, Anugatya, our Gurudev and our Guru Varg. Please, please, let me hold on to your little finger and take me along. I don't know anything, but yet this is my prayer. I may be so fallen and so far, but yet you came for me. You told me these beautiful pastimes, and somehow or other, even if it's the smallest spark, something has entered my heart, and now I will never be the same. Please don't forget me. Please remember me, call or say my name. So today also is the most beautiful day of Sri Vishnu Priya Devi. She is the consort of Nimai Pandit, as Kishori Mohan Prabhu made very clear. There is a difference. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is a sannyasi, was not married to Vishnu Priya, but Nimai Pandit was. We hear that Sri Vishnu Priya Devi is the manifestation of Satyabhama or Bhudevi. Satyabhama is the manifestation of Srimati Radhika in Dwarka. Not Rukmini. Rukmini is Chandravali. So this is the manifestation of Satyabhama. She is Bhakti Devi herself. This is Vishnu Priya. And she became the second wife of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Really quick question. Can a Rupanuga worship Chandravali?
Can a Rupanuga worship Chandravali? All I know is, first of all, we've heard how Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, what his reaction was when somebody brought a leaf cup and he saw that the leaf was different and larger than the other leaves that people would bring him milk in. And he asked where it was from, and they said, oh, it's from Sakhistali, and that is Chandravali's place. And Raghunath Das Goswami became immersed in the mood of a Radha Dasi, and with a stick began to chase them away. Also, I know that when we were on Braj Mandal Parikrama with our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja, and we were doing Parikrama of Govardhan, Gurudev made an announcement from a distance. He said, "Over there is Sakhi Stali. Chalo, we continue." And so we all offered our pranam to that place, because it is no small thing. She is also the manifestation of Srimati Radhika. She is manifested into all Sarva Lakshmi Mai. She is the root of all the manifestations. We hear in the bhajan of Bhaktivedānta Thakur how she is Rama, Satya, Satyabhama, Chandra, Rukmini. She is the manifestation. Saba avatare.
Uma, Rama, Satya, Shachi, Chandra, Rukmini, Radha, Avatara, Sabe. She is the Purna Shakti. She is that personality who manifests all of these beautiful Shaktis of the Lord. So there is no harm in offering our pranam there. I mean, who are we to say, "Oh, Chandravali"? We should be very, very careful. Just like we should be very careful when we say, "Oh, Krishna is, what is it, a Dibachi?" Is that how you say it? Dibachi. He is... You know, we have to be very careful when we approach those high topics. Are we qualified to look at Krishna and say, "Oh, you're a black thief, you are this, you are that"? We are not qualified. But when we are remembering the Harikatha of our Gurudev and our Guruvarg, when we are remembering the Leelas of Krishna in Vrindavan, and we are repeating the words of the Brajabasis, then we can say such a thing. But on our own, this would be a gross misjudgment of our, let's just say it would be rasabhas. For us, this would be totally unnatural and wrong, unless we have come to that state of understanding, who am I in relationship to Krishna? What is my eternal relationship with him, with my service to Srimati Radhika? If I understand who I am, it may be at that time something will come. It may be. But in our state, we don't, what is it? What is Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam, that book? Angels Fear to Tread? How does it say? Fools rush
in where fools rush in where angels fear to tread. This is that perfect scenario. We are very, very careful, and we approach these with great savdhan, with care, with so much attention, and always with a mood of prayer. If Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and our acharyas are telling us that we are actually very audacitous to even try to glorify our Gurudev and our Guruvarg, what to speak of the private life of Krishna. This is where he takes off his helmet of majesty. This is where he lets go of "I am God, I am the controller," and where he is completely subjugated and controlled by love itself. This is a place where we should be very, very frightened and careful. We are trespassers, but because of our Gurudev and our Guruvarg, we can venture into that with a mood of humility and pray, "May these moods come into my heart. May that sweet Harikatha manifest in my heart." Not that I have the qualification to behave as such. So to all of the parikars of Krishna, whether it is Chandravali, whether it is Jatila and Kutila and Abhimanyu, and all of these manifestations that are the personifications of Krishna Seva, they are there to love and to serve and to help Krishna understand what it is like to taste his own heart. That's what Braj is. It's his own heart. And here he is taking and tasting all of this love and affection and chastisement. Who has the right to chastise the supreme God? No one. No one. Even as Lord Narasimha Bhagavan, Lakshmi Devi wouldn't approach. No way. I've never seen my husband as such. That is just a fraction of the potency of Srimati Radhika. Gurudev said that Narasimha Bhagavan has, what, 1/10,000? Or no, 10, what did he say?
About Srimati Radhika?
Yes.
He said she has more power in her little toenail.
She has more power in her little toenail than 10,000 Narasimha Bhagavans. Imagine, this is Srimati Radhika, and that is that like fierce anger of the Lord coming and fighting with his devotees, but fighting. And yet that personality has put all of that aside and has come here to Vrindavan, to Braj Mandal, to be subjugated by love. Who are we to judge who is Chandravali, who is only second to Srimati Radhika and a manifestation of her? So yes, we can honor and wonder at the magnificence of Chandravali, but we don't necessarily worship her like we do Srimati Radhika. We don't have that kind of mood. Our gurus have come to bring us to lean toward Srimati Radhika, and that is everything for us. Even Mother Yashoda, we glorify, we honor, we're in awe of her. But yet, we don't worship her in the mood of, I want to become like your mother. What is the nature of my Atma? That is what I am crying for. What is my sadhya? What is my goal? Gurudev is establishing this sambandha, this relationship with us. And we honor and we adore and we glorify every aspect of Krishna, even Krishna in Dvarka. It may not be where we are thinking, I want to enter, but his leelas, his teachings, everything is worshipable. Look at Bhagavad Gita. How every step of Bhagavad Gita is bringing us closer and closer toward loving him. How can we negate or say, oh, I don't want to hear Bhagavad Gita. Oh, I don't want to know about Arjuna and Bhim and Yudhishthira. Of course we do. This is our beloved Lord, and we want to hear everything about him. Just like if we are in love. If you fall in love, you want to know everything about your beloved. Does he like spinach? Does he like broccoli? Does he like this? What's his favorite ice cream? What's this? What does he like to wear? What kind of socks? Those things are negligible. No one really cares about that. But if you're in love with someone, you care. You care about every aspect of them. So no part of Krishna is to be thrown away. Even when we hear about Maya Devi, how astonishing she is, and how she's doing this whole Leela so that Krishna can give mercy. So I've gone off on one, and I should be very careful to be on point. So, Vishnu Priya. So we know that she was married to Nimai Pandit. I was reading from Srila Gurudev today, and he was saying that she was the nearest and dearest to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit. But Nimai Pandit really didn't have much to do with her. She was somewhat afraid of him. Before he went to Gaya, he was somewhat normal. He was still going a little bit mad, trying to find where is Krishna. But when he came back, after he had received initiation from Sri Ishwar Puri, he received Harinam and Diksha. And at that time, he was no longer Nimai Pandit, he was Bhavuk Nimai. It means he was now completely immersed in Radha Bhav. So at that time, Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi was somewhat afraid of him. He was rolling on the ground. He was calling the names of Krishna, exhibiting all kinds of Astasafik bhavs. She couldn't actually come close to him. There's another conversation that we can have about Gauranagari Bhav. During this ideal, even his own wife, he never had any relationship with, because he is in the mood of Srimati Radhika, coming to taste what it is like to love Krishna. This is the purpose of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance in this world. Well, many different purposes, but this is his own purpose, his heart's desire. So one day, Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi went to the Ganga to take bath. On her way there, she stubbed her foot, her toe on a stone, and her foot began to bleed. We don't follow these customs anymore, but back then, and even at the time of Krishna, we see that they understood how to read omens, if something is good or bad. So she understood this isn't a good omen, that I stubbed my toe like this and now I'm bleeding. So she went to the Ganga and she took bath. As she was taking bath there, she lost her nose ring that was given to her on her marriage day. It's a very auspicious thing, and it's showing chastity and connection to her husband, Nimai Pandit. And at that time she began to search everywhere for it, but she couldn't find it. And she began to weep and lament, wondering, what does this mean for me? This has some bad omen, something is coming. She went home and she told Sachimata everything that happened, and Sachimata was trying to pacify her. That evening, Nimai Pandit came home, and he brought some loki and some milk that he got from Sridhar, and he stole probably. And he brought it to Sachimata, and he said, make some kheer with this. And she made kheer, and Nimai Pandit ate it. And then he dressed very, very beautifully. Gurudev said, like someone about to be married, very lavishly and beautifully. And he entered the sleeping chamber of Vishnupriya Devi. Vishnupriya Devi was shocked. Her husband never came to her. Not like this, not ever like this. And at this time, he was very, very composed. He sat down and began to speak to her very lovingly. He began to decorate her hair, and he began to place betel nut in her mouth. All the while she was thinking, he's calling me beloved. He's speaking sweet words to me, but he has never done anything like this. And how he is dressed, I've never seen him like this. Only on our marriage day I've seen this. And in her mind she was thinking, I lost my nose ring and I stubbed my toe, and now he's treating me like this. What's happening? And she was feeling this panic in her heart. But at that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called for his, Nimai Pandit called for his Yoga Maya to come there in the form of sleep and put Vishnupriya in a deep sleep. She felt that potency upon her and she tried to fight it, but she couldn't, and she fell fast asleep. Our Gurudev said Nimai Pandit took one look back at her, and then he walked out the door. Shachimata was standing at the front door. She was not moving because Yogamaya had also descended upon her, but she couldn't sleep. She was just standing there like a brick, not moving. Gurudev said she was breathing, but that was it. There was no motion. She couldn't even cry. She was just standing there bereft. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did parikrama of her 3 or 4 times, touched her feet, and said, Maya, I'm going now to find my beloved Krishna. And he offered his pranam and he left. And then he went to Keshav Bharati and he took sannyas. Gurudev explained that he went to Puri, and on his way from Puri he came back to Navadvip on his way to Vrindavan. When he went back to Navadvip, all came to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Everyone, Gurudev said, even the dogs and the blind people went to have his darshan. Sachimata also went to see him, and she brought all kinds of foodstuffs. Gurudev said only one personality was left behind. Who is that? Vishnupriya. And then Gurudev asked why. He said because she was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's most beloved. Out of everyone, he loved her the most. He said, this is very significant for all of us. He said, if we really have attachment to Krishna, then we will have to show it by giving up our most beloved possession in this world. It may be our children, it may be our wife, it may be our wealth. But all of our acharyas, all of our Goswamis, they have all shown this, that they have given up everything, even that thing that is most dear to them. Our Gurudev said that Vishnupriya Devi was so renounced, even more than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, more renounced than him. And Gurudev said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always had so many around him, like Gadadhar Pandit, Rai Ramananda, Swarup, Damodar, so many he had around him to pacify him, to actually help him taste what he had come to taste. But Vishnu Priya Devi had no one. What was she doing? Gurudev said she would take rice and she would chant Harinam Mahamantra on each grain of rice. And she would actually wash each grain with her tears and put it aside. And in the middle of the day, after she had chanted her Nam Bhajan, she would take that rice and she would cook it with some vegetables. And then she would offer that to Shachi Mata, who would take a little bit and then give the rest to Vishnu Priya. Gurudev said she never again saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but her love in separation is the highest ideal. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arranged that a beautiful murti of himself was given to Vishnu Priya that is still in Navadvip to this day.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not arrange that.
Gurudev said somehow or other, you can read it. That's why I'm saying it. I know that we've heard that it was Vishnu Priya, but...
No, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as Mahaprabhu, he did not arrange that. Didn't he arrange it still as Nimai?
You can read it. It's on today's Harikatha. I believe Gurudev said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he said somehow or other, arranged this deity for her. So, and he's standing like this. We have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like this. One hand he's tasting this mood of Radha Bhav, of what it is like to love Krishna. And with his other hand, he's distributing this love of Krishna, Svabhakti Shriyam, what he has come to give the world. But this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Vishnu Priya, as Gurudev said, it means more and more mercy. He's just absolutely giving. Gurudev said that this murti of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would actually speak to Vishnu Priya Devi and Shachi Mata, so much so that they would wonder, did he really come? Or was it just my imagination? Did he really eat this? Or was it just some figment of my imagination or a dream? So much so was their love that it bound him. Can you imagine if we had that kind of relationship with our Thakurjis, that we didn't understand whether or not they had come to life and were speaking with us and eating what we cooked? We can only pray for that kind of day. So I can't speak much longer, but I need to say something about Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj. This, I don't know if you can see him.
Let me bring it up closer. There you go. There's a picture of Srila Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj.
Oh, Karunamayi, I think, is it your birthday too today? It might be Karunamayi's birthday. I think in some way I saw it, or I don't know. I think it's Karunamayi's birthday too.
She said she missed what 2 hands down means.
2 hands down means more and more and more mercy. Here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is tasting something. So one hand, it's showing who he is. He is Krishna himself tasting Radha Bhav. This was his own purpose and kind of his side thing. And another mood is, take my hand and I will bring you to Krishna. But this mood of 2 hands out is just absolutely benevolent, giving and giving and giving. So, Srila Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj, beautiful, absolutely astonishing walking heart. He was a Diksha disciple of Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj, and he was the Shiksha disciple of Srila Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Gosvāmī Maharaj. Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Gosvāmī Maharaj was a disciple of Srila Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Thakur. He was one of the only disciples of Saraswati Thakur that was allowed to read Rasa Shastra and also speak on it. And so, anyway, we'll get to more of that in a moment. But I just want to tell you how we met Srila Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj. One day, we were in our room here in Gopinath Bhavan. We were in actually another room facing Jamuna. And one devotee came to our door and he said, I'm going to meet Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj. He's a very great Vaishnava. Would you like to come to meet him? And who would say no? So we were like, yes, we want to meet him. So upon going to his mat, we saw something astonishing. We saw our Srila Prabhupada in a very big picture there. There was his Gurudev, Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Maharaj, but there was also, wasn't there Bhaktivedānta Vaman Gosvāmī Maharaj and our Gurudev?
Big pictures.
Big pictures.
Bigger than this one behind today.
It was huge, and we looked up, we're like, oh, you know our persons? How do you know them? And anywhere that has our Srila Prabhupada, then we know we're quite safe. So when any Gaudiya Math, we're like, oh, they have affection for our Srila Prabhupada. We don't like that if they just respect him, but if they have affection for him, if they're overflowing for him, then we open our hearts. Otherwise, we offer pranam. So we saw that these personalities whom we adore, who are our life and soul, they were also present in his math. And he began to speak to us so sweetly. And we began going and hearing him speak every night. And we saw that he was speaking on Radharasa Shuddha.
Also, what about the devotees who were present there?
Who was there?
So many.
So many of our Gurudev's disciples were there, just like when we had seen Srila Bhaktivedānta Bharati Maharaj. We saw so many of our senior Vaishnavas there, and we saw that they were hearing from him, and we thought, oh, we're safe. So when we came to see Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj, we saw all of our people there, and we're like, okay, we're safe. So we sat down and we began to hear him speak. And it was so sweet. He was speaking during the month of Kartik on Radharasa Shuddha Nidhi. And in the evenings, we were going every night afterwards, hearing him and hearing him. But he would sing one bhajan before he would speak. And it was, Hey Govinda Rako Sharana Apana Jivana Hare. And in this bhajan, it's really the mood of Dwarka Bhav. It's like Draupadi. And she's calling out for help, and she's calling for Krishna, please, Rako Sharana, save me. They're trying to make me naked. All the Kauravas are in this assembly trying to make me naked. Oh, Krishna, hey, Govinda. And Krishna becomes, as Mahārāja would always famously say, Sari Avatar. He would become the Sari. He didn't just produce a Sari. He became the Sari that protected Draupadi. So I was kind of confused. I asked him a question one night, and I said, Srila Mahārāja, I have a question. Why is it that we're in Vrindavan, it's the month of Kartik, and you're speaking on Radharasa Shuddha Nidhi, but you're singing this mood in Dwarka Bhav? I can't really understand it. I don't understand this mood. Can you explain it? And Mahārāja said, he said, a long time ago, he said, some people came against me. I don't want to get into the politics of it, but he was saying they were trying to kill me. They wanted to kill me. And then he started crying, and he was like pulling his shoulder back like this. And he said, but Nārāyaṇa Mahārāja, he saved me. He saved me. And he said, and he told me to go on doing as I was doing, to follow Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Gosvāmī Maharaj, and to follow and to continue preaching as I was. And he said, so this bhajan, every time I sing it, I remember that mood of being helpless and calling out for protection. And he said, so I sing it every time before I speak, that I am helpless. Please, Krishna, you descend. And he said, and I'm also always remembering Nārāyaṇa Maharaj, your Gurudev. And then a couple days later, we get a phone call. We're taking lunch, and he calls in the middle of the day. And Kishori Mohan is like, he answers the phone, and it's Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj. And Kishori is like, you know, Maharaj. No, that was the other time when he was in another country. Right. So anyway, he calls and he goes, come to my mat quickly, quickly, I need you to come. So we dropped everything and we ran. It's right close. It's sort of on your way to Radharaman Mandir, in between, like right before Radha Gokulananda Mandir. So we ran there. It's about 10 minutes. We ran. And we go running up the stairs. We run to his room. And he says, all night I was thinking that you were asking me this question. And I couldn't sleep. And I was thinking, yes, why am I singing this same bhajan, this Dwarka mood? So he said, I became inspired and I wrote one mood in Braja Bhav, the same tune, but it's in Braja Bhav. And he began to explain to us this beautiful bhajan, and we had it written down in one of my nectar books. And then I asked Mahārāja, will you please give your signature? Will you write it at the bhajan? And he said, oh, you want me to write in your book? I said, yes. He said, where? I said, anywhere, write the whole book. So he took the book, and then he wrote, oh, my Supreme Lord, you are the rainbow after every storm of my life. And then he wrote Bhakti Kamal Govinda Mahārāja. And then he said, do you know what this means? Do you understand this? He said, there will be so many storms. There will be so many obstacles in your life. But you will see that at the end of every storm, a rainbow will appear. It means that Krishna will appear after every storm of your life. Do you understand? I thought, oh, how beautiful. If you want, you can get my book. It's in the other room, and we can show it to them.
Where is it?
It's...
In the meantime, just play this a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Just put it next to the mic there.
It's in my closet.
It might not be loud enough.
I didn't plan on hearing his voice. I can say that, here, do you want to show this to them, what he wrote? This is his bhajan, and this is his signature.
You explained that he wrote it on many different scraps.
He was grabbing all these different scraps of
paper. He had it on like the back cover of his notebooks and stuff. So here's the bhajan. He did the Brajified, I'm using this term, Brajified version of that. And this is his handwriting here. This was the note he made in Sudevi's special book.
I'm a nectar collector.
Oh, my Supreme Lord, you are the rainbow of every storm.
He says storm.
He wrote storm.
Storm.
Storm of my life. D.K. Swami D.K. Govinda. Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam. You want it?
No, it's okay. So, Srila Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj, he was so soft and sweet. One time we went to his room and he was taking lunch prasad that was cooked by one of his disciples. She was 12 years old, actually younger at the time, maybe 10, 13. 10. She was 10. Her name is Purnima. Maybe you've seen her. She's the little sister of Krishna Kishore, and she has a little sister named Radha Priya. And they're the children of Rohini Nandan Prabhu and Rasakeli Didi. And his disciples didn't know how to cook for him. You know, even Gurudev, when we came in and started serving him as Soup Devi and Kitchen Mohan, it was because no one knew how to cook healthy food. They call it sick food. If you're not cooking with mustard oil and tons of spices, it's called sick food. No one knows how to do sick food, which we would call steamed veggies and healthy food. So Gurudev also, we had to come in because Dvija Krishna Prabhu was like, I don't understand this. I'm too old for it. It's a new thing to me. Take the kitchen. So the same thing happened with Srila Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj. These young children decided to start cooking for him, and they would make him quinoa, and they would make him healthy soups. And one day we went into his room, and he was taking prasad. And we came in, and we thought, oh, we're disturbing. He said, come in, sit down, sit down. And then he got 2 little cups, and from his plate, he put his own prasad from his own plate into these cups, and he gave it to us. And so we thought, oh, we'll take it later. And he was taking prasad, and he's like, what are you doing? Take prasad, eat. And so we were just sitting with him, taking prasad, and he was speaking with us. When Srila Gurudev would talk about, sometimes with Gurudev, it could be a mood of awe or reverence, or you have this very great respect. But he was showing us, Srila Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj was showing us a more intimate mood. That yes, I can help you and I can help direct you, but you should see me as like your friend. And he would do everything to make it that way. Once, when it was about this time, it was actually just before Vasant Panchami, we were about to leave Vrindavan, and Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj was, I believe, in Orissa. And we were just going to leave to go on a tour of Australia, New Zealand, and Fiji, the Fiji Islands. And Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj, we were on the computer, we were making the tickets, we were on the phone with an Australian devotee, and not an Australian devotee, a devotee from Australia. And we were making the tickets, and what phone was it? My phone. It was on my phone. Or anyway, we both have phones. One of our phones, Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj calls. We didn't know it was him. Kishori Mohan sees that it's an Indian number. He thinks, who is this? So he's like, Om Bakare, he does Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. And so Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj goes, oh, it's, Govinda Maharaj. And Kishori's like, Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj? And he said, yes.
We never gave him our number.
And yeah, we didn't give him our number. And Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj is on the phone, and we're just like, whoa, to the Australian devotee, we got to call you back. This is, primary. We've got to talk to him. So he said, I heard that you are going to leave Vrindavan, and you won't be there for my birthday, which is today. And we said, yes, Maharaj, we're making our tickets right now, and we've already made this and that, and it will cost so much money if we change them. And Maharaj said, if you love me, you will change the tickets. Do you love me? And we were kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I love you. I can't say. We knew that our hearts were completely charmed and melted, and we were addicted to him. But we never contemplated, do we love him? And he said, if you love me, you will change the ticket. Do you love me? And Kishori Mohan goes, well, Maharaj, we just made them. It'll cost like $500 to change it. And he said, thank you. And he hung up. And actually, before he hung up, he said, if you don't come to my birthday, if you don't come, then I will boycott my own birthday. I won't go. So that meant his disciples, so many of them wouldn't be able to do Vyas Puja. They wouldn't be able to worship him. And he was also installing his deities and installing a Pushpa Samadhi of Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj that day. So he was like, I'm going to boycott, I won't go. And we were like, oh, this doesn't sound good. So we changed our tickets and we stayed and we went to the installation, and it was really beautiful, and we had his Vyas Puja ceremony, and then like the day after we immediately left and we started introducing devotees to him. We would call him and he would pick up the phone and speak with everyone, and we had realized that, we want to travel with him, we want to be with him. And so just as we arrived in Australia, something happened. There was a huge, a cyclone in the Fiji Islands, especially on the island that we were supposed to be on. If we didn't change our tickets, we would have been in the center of this cyclone.
Category 5, the worst one they've ever had.
It's the worst one they've ever had, and it was horrible, horrible. And we would have been stuck there if we made it through. There was no electricity. It was hard to get water. There were mosquitoes everywhere. You can imagine, it was just disease everywhere. And we were shocked. We thought we were supposed to be there, but he changed everything. He forced us to change our tickets. So we immediately called him. He said, Mahārāja, we just found out that we were supposed to be there, and there was a huge cyclone at the time we were supposed to be in the Fiji Islands. And he started laughing. He said, yes, yes, Radharani is blessing you. Srimati Radharani has given you so many blessings. And we saw that he actually, for all, practical thinking, he saved us from that horrible situation. And we were astonished by it. So then we went to America, and we were planning a trip with him. We were going to go to Europe and England with him, and we were discussing with him, and we found out that he became sick. And we called him, we said, Maharaj, we heard that you are sick, that you had something like a stroke. And he said, no, I am fine, I am fine. And I said, Maharaj, I'm so worried about you. And he said, oh, then chant more, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And then he again gave us the blessings of Srimati Radhika. And within 2 days, he left this world. I remember when he left, and I was thinking, why did Gurudev, why did Krishna allow me to meet such a personality? All of a sudden, one day I looked in my heart and I realized he was there and that I had so much love for him. And I thought, why? Why would Krishna do that to somebody, bring you in the vicinity of such a beautiful Vaishnava and then rip them from you, like ripping your heart out? But then I was thinking, at the time he was here, I was reserved. It wasn't so long, maybe 5 years after our Gurudev entered Samadhi. And so I was reserved, and I was just kind of like, I don't know if I'm ready to allow someone fully to enter into my heart, but I need help, I need guidance. And when he left, I realized that if ever I were blessed to meet a Vaishnava like that again, I wouldn't hold back. That there should be no reservation. If my heart is hearing my Gurudev in his Harikatha, if I am hearing Srila Prabhupada, if I am hearing those who I have absolute faith in when he speaks, then it's a safe place to run. Once I went to him when so many were speaking opposite. They were actually disciples of our Gurudev, but they changed his teachings, especially about our Srila Bhaktivedānta Swami Prabhupada. I said, they're changing it. My Gurudev always spoke that he is Rupanuga, and what is a Rupanuga? And now they're saying that no, he's not. Before they came out with the book, they actually said he is not Rupanuga. So we were crying and we were just fighting them like, how dare you? Everywhere Gurudev is saying it. Gurudev said it hurts his heart. He is non-different from Rupa Goswami. Don't make him any less. Not that any other mood is wrong, but our Prabhupada came to distribute this bhav. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give a specific kind of mood. Anyway, so I went to Mahārāja and I was saying, what do? We've been fighting them, and now they've come out with this book, you know, and it's like a drop of poison because it is completely against what our Gurudev is spoken. How our Gurudev glorified Prabhupada, our Prabhupada. Srila Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj said, don't fight them. Don't do it. He said, what you should do is this, because he said, we don't go by dreams, because one of their persons had a dream, and in the dream, our Prabhupada said to him, I am of Sakya Ras. So he said, we don't follow dreams. We don't believe like this. We don't just follow someone's dream. Guru Mukha Padma Bhakya. We follow the words, the Vani of our Guru Varg and our Gurudev. He said, so out there is a very big marketplace. And in this marketplace, so many are bringing their fruits out. Some are bitter. Some are rotten. Some are a little bit ripe. Some are sour. He said, but you go with all of your fruits. It means the moods, the teachings, and the conceptions of our Gurudev, of our Guru Varga. He said, you bring your fruits out to that marketplace. Don't point to all of their rotten and sour and bitter things. Just call out, oh, such sweet fruit is here. So much sweet fruit, so juicy fruit is here. Come and take for free, we are giving. He said automatically, those who are meant to taste that kind of fruit will all come to your fruit stand. So he showed me not to fight this thing. Maybe we can say, hey, be careful, this is a dangerous place. But it's not my thing to fight. We gave the moods and the teachings of our Guru Varg, and that's it. And so
he said we don't even follow, he said book, Mukha Padma Bhakti.
Yes, we don't follow a book like this. We follow the words and the teachings of our Gurudev. And he said, even if I say something different from your Gurudev, then you don't follow me, you follow your Gurudev. And on the conception of Jeev Tattva, we went to him. We heard maybe he had some difference. And he said, oh, my lineage is somewhat crooked. And he began to say how he is a follower of our Gurudev. He used to say that when he was younger, he was the personal servant of Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj, who was very fearsome. And our Srila Prabhupada told him, don't ever leave him. Always serve him. And so he stayed with him through thick and thin. And then at some point he went to Bhakti Jivan Janardana Goswami Maharaj. And at that time he said that Bhakti Jivan Janardana Goswami Maharaj would lay his head on his lap, that Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj would lay his head on Bhakti Jivan Janardana Maharaj's lap. And Bhakti Jivan Janardana Maharaj would pet his head, but he would continuously be telling him Hari Katha. So much beautiful Hari Katha for hours and hours and hours. And we used to think, oh, he's only in his 60s. We have so much time with him. We will be able to ask so many questions. We'll be able to get so much inspiration from him, so much Hari Katha. But we didn't get that. Srila Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj used to say that when we are hearing Hari Katha, when we are chanting our Harinam, when we are doing anything on the path of bhakti, he said we should be like fishes. And I was thinking, like fishes? He said, we should be like fishes. He said, fishes, when they are on the surface of any water, it's very rough and you're being thrown here and there. But when you go very, very deep, like a fish, you go deep to the bottom, everything is very, very beautiful and still, and you can see everything clearly. He said, if you go up to the top, then the fisherman will catch you. And he said in the same way, if you're not going deep into the process of bhakti, if you come up from that into Maya, then Maya will catch you immediately. He said, so you should be like a fish. And he used to say that we can't get this kind of Braja Prem from Krishna himself. He doesn't have it. He doesn't know what it is like to love himself. It's why he came. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, so like a bee. He said, a bee can go to flower, and it can collect so much pollen and make honey. He said, but us, if we were to go to those flowers, no matter how much you rub and rub and rub them, you can never make honey. But if you follow that bee back to its beehive, there you will see all rasa, all honey is there. He said, so only the sadhus can give you this kind of Braja Prem. Only those who contain that within their hearts can give you this madhurya, this sweetness. So he would say you should always go, I know, for that kind of deep sadhu sangha. I'll just tell one more thing, because maybe Kishori can speak, not tonight.
No, we have to have some darshan of the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur.
Okay.
And
so maybe we'll have to speak
more tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I'm so sorry I took the whole time.
No, she's barely taken any time. Actually, I'm waiting for more.
No. He used to say that there was one Vaishnava, I think I told you this when we were in Govardhan, but there was a devotee who was always sweeping the pathways and sweeping everywhere around Govardhan, or maybe it was Varshana, don't remember exactly, but then in the Dham, in Govardhan. sweeping and sweeping and sweeping. And one day his broom became very broken. I don't know if you know the brooms they have here, but there are these long kind of straw bristles. They're about this long. Kishori always says that's why all the older people here are hunched over, because they have to sweep really bent down.
That one was made of the coconut.
And so but he was sweeping and sweeping with this, and all of the bristles became broken. So he didn't know what to do, and he was going to all these Vaishnavas. What do I do with this? What do I do? How do I need a new broom. This one is no longer able to serve. And they said, Are Baba, throw it away. It's no longer useful. But he looked at that broom and he thought, how can I throw it away? This broom has done so much seva. How can I just throw it away as though it is nothing? It has done seva. So he made a broom samadhi. He put the broom into samadhi in a worshipable place because it served. I was contemplating that and thinking of how our Gurudev and our Guru Varg, if anyone does any seva for the mission of Mahaprabhu or to help them spread that mission, they consider it to be such a high-class thing. Even though we're only repeating their words, giving out their books, giving out prasadam that is offered through them, we're not doing anything. We can't do anything. We are completely useless. But they give us strength. Eka ki amar nahi pai bal. I can't do anything. I have no strength on my own. But oh Vaishnav Thakur, because of you there is strength. There is Shakti. Even so much so that Krishna himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, can actually become attracted. This is astonishing. So our Guru Varg, they consider anything that is used in the service of Krishna worshipable. Even Srila Prabhupada used the microphone as an example of becoming spiritualized. On its own, it's nothing. It's a microphone. It's an inanimate object, and it doesn't do anything. It can do bad or it could do good. But now, because he is using it to speak Harikatha, he is using it proclaiming the name and the glories of Krishna everywhere. It has become spiritualized. Just like if Srila Prabhupada or our Gurudev used a chadar, it's spiritualized. It's Mahaprasad. We don't just throw it in, with our laundry. We keep it. And we keep it very, very carefully. Why? Because our Gurudev wore it and it was used in service to Krishna. It has now become something that is transcendental. It is a tirtha in itself. So this is the way this Vaishnava saw this broom. And so he put it into samadhi. Can you imagine if we all walked around with this kind of consciousness? That all of those things that we use in paraphernalia to the Lord, that we use very carefully. Once Srila Bhaktivedānta Gosvāmī Mahārāja was giving a lecture and he saw someone step over a songbook. Many of you might see this in your temples or in your homes when you do programs, that people will step over the book. And he was giving a lecture and he stopped the lecture and he said, oh, dear Vaishnava, please forgive me. I don't want to give any chastisement to anyone, but I have seen something. And if I don't say anything to you, then it will be aparadha. It will be against love.
He will be implicated in it.
And he would be implicated in seeing this aparad. He said, you have stepped over this book. This book is the love and the affection of our acharyas for their most beloved hearts, for their Radha and Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to their Gurudevs. This book is everything. He said, it is their bhajan and you have just simply stepped over it. He said, so please, I'm asking all of you, be very careful. These books are worshipable. And that brings me to one point that I wasn't going to speak on, but I will very quickly. In the beginning, Kishori Mohan Prabhu said that this is also Saraswati Puja. So when we hear in Chaito Darpanam Arjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvarpanam Shreya Kaira Vachandrika Vitarnam Vidyavadu Jivanam. So he explained that regular vidya, he said, generally in school, here in India, and also us when we were growing up, but with regular school books, if anybody drops that book, or anybody, it touches the floor or whatever, we're taught to pick it up and touch it to our heads. So Bhaktivedānta Mahārāja was saying that if we drop any book, why? Because it is knowledge, it is Saraswati. So they would pick it up and touch it to their heads. And he said, actually, that knowledge of this world is nothing. It is fit to be kicked away, actually. There are two kinds of Saraswati. One that gives worldly vidya, and one that gives transcendental vidya. He said, Paravidya, yes. He said, this vidya is different. This Saraswati, what is given to us is that Saraswati who went to that Digvijay and told him, you are having this quarrel, trying to have one over and override my own husband. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is my Lord, huh? Nimai Pandit is my actual pati. He is my Lord and my master and my husband. She said, so your knowledge, whatever I can give you is nothing. I can't give you anything compared to this. So he said, this is the goddess Saraswati that we pray to, that is actually there giving transcendental knowledge, showing this is Nimai Pandit. This is non-different from Krishna himself. He said, when we step over a book like this, or that book touches the ground, then we put it to our heads and we beg forgiveness, because that Saraswati is the Saraswati that we pray to on this day. Even today I said...
What is it? That verse in Nārāyaṇam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devyam saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirya. That Saraswati is transcendental.
Yes, transcendental Saraswati. And just like we call the world like Bhu Mandal, but when we're talking about Vishnu Priya Devi and Bhu Devi, the Shakti of the Lord, our Guru Varg have shown us that she is actually like the manifester, the Bhu Mandal of Braj. She is that platform, also Baladev Prabhu, where Krishna comes and he is able to dance and play in this world, and she manifests the Braj of Vrindavan throughout all different universes. She is that transcendental prema bhakti of the Lord. She is bhakti personified. So it is different than when we just call the world, the material world. That is a different kind of Bhu. We are worshipping the transcendental Bhu Devi.
There's Homa Vrindavan.
Yes.
Every
yes.
Earth planet, right?
So today we are also praying to Saraswati to please help us, give us knowledge of who am I, what is my relationship to my beloved Lord, who is Srimati Radhika Thakurani, how is she my Swaminiji, how can I progress on the path of bhakti. Our acharyas have told us one day, whether it is this lifetime, next lifetime, or some lifetime, we will have to understand all of this tattva gyan. We will have to understand what is Krishna tattva, Jeev tattva, Bhakti tattva, Radha tattva, Ras tattva, Maya tattva. We will have to understand all, because it is all the Shakti of the Lord. And if we want to enter into it, we will have to know what is and what is not. Because then we will understand, am I making progress? Am I falling toward the Maya Shakti? Or am I going toward Krishna's transcendental Shakti that is bringing me towards Yoga Maya, Purnamasi, and Braja Vrindavan? Where am I to go? So if we don't know these tattvas, then we can become lost. So it's very important for us as sadhaks to actually enter deep into all of these tattvas, to try to learn shlokas. And if we can't learn all of the Sanskrit and Bengali shlokas, at very least we should understand the meanings of them. We should understand proper siddhanta. We should understand what in the line of Bhaktivedānta. We are called the Bhaktivedānta because he is the seventh Goswami. All that the Goswamis were giving, he has put in front of us in such a way that we can easily assimilate. Before, everything was written in Sanskrit, very high Sanskrit that was so difficult to understand. And nowadays, Sanskrit coming to us is imbued with Mayavad meanings. So what we think is the meaning of something may be completely perverted, because we don't understand. But Srila Bhaktivedānta Thakur, he has translated it into easy Bengali so that everyone can have some entrance into it. He has made it as accessible for us. And then our Srila Prabhupada has made it even more accessible to the world by giving it in English and then in almost every language of the world. So we are coming in the Bhaktivedānta, and we should understand all Bhakti Siddhanta from the line of Bhaktivedānta Thakur. This means that we are in line. Anywhere where Srila Bhaktivedānta Thakur isn't honored, isn't followed, then we offer pranam forever from a distance, but that is not my lineage. They may have a different conception. And who knew the heart of Bhaktivedānta Thakur better than Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? No one. Bhaktivedānta Thakur gave everything to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and actually called for him. Why he is called Bimal Prasad. Bhaktivedānta Thakur said, as Advaita Acharya prayed for the mercy of Krishna to descend, for Krishna himself to descend. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the same way. I called for the mercy of Bimala Devi, and Saraswati Thakur, Bimal Prasad, appeared in this world. These are the moods of Bhaktivedānta Thakur. He called for him. And we are in this lineage. And if there are Babajis, there are good Babajis too. But if they don't accept Bhaktivedānta Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, pranam forever. We honor. Maybe just like Chandravali, we honor. We accept that this is some branch and that they are also chanting Hare Krishna and they are also trying to be Rupanugas. But if they don't accept topmost Kamala Manjari, Nayani Mani Manjari, and our Guru Varga, our Srila Prabhupada, our Gurudev, Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Maharaj, our Param Gurudev, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, all of our acharyas, then pranam forever. We will have loyalty to our Guru Varg because they have given us everything. We will never jump over their heads to try to understand Jiva Goswami and Rupa Goswami, Raghunathas Goswami, and all of the Goswamis of Vrindavan. We will never jump over the head of our Gurudev and our Guru Varg to say, I know more, I understand more than them. We will never, never, and never do that. So we are in the Bhaktivedānta, and we should have some idea of the moods, the conceptions, and the teachings of our Gurudev. Gauravani Pracharine, what Mahaprabhu has come to give, they have imbued in all of their Harikatha, and everything is to bring us to Braj. So now I have to finish, and I just want to say thank you so much for giving me this most extraordinary opportunity. I didn't look down to see if there were any questions. Please forgive me for that.
I thought you weren't. You're finished. I thought you were just starting.
You told me I have to. Well, there is one more thing, but anyway. So, thank you for giving me an opportunity. I know that the glories of the Vaishnavas and Vishnu Priya Devi and the Leelas of the Lord are so far beyond my capacity. It's like a baby in its mother's arms trying to reach out and grasp the moon. But yet, because our Gurudev has ordered us, because the order has come from above, we audaciously try to do this seva. It may be the gurglings of a baby, but our endeavor is most important because Gurudev said to try is bhakti. And Gurudev becomes happy hearing us trying. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to try to bring pleasure to my Gurudev, to our Guru Varg, and also for the spiritual benefit of myself, having to remember and contemplate and try to remember something of these most astonishing, beautiful activities of our own Lord and of the Lord's parikar. Such a valuable, beautiful life we've been given. And I didn't check to see if it is Karunamayi's birthday. I think it is. So if Kishori Mohan Prabhu will do any kind of I don't see. Can somebody just write if it is also Karunamayi's birthday?
Check here. birthdays.
But-
Jiva Pavana and 7 others.
Jiva Pavana Prabhu is a disciple of our Srila Prabhupada. He is very dear to our Guru Dev. And all I know is that every time I've ever seen him, he's always been so compassionate and kind and encouraging to us. Even though he is so senior, he always comes and tries to encourage us to give something of what we remember of our Guru Varg, although he himself can give everything, and he has been a practicing devotee for 30, 40 years. Yet he encourages us, and we feel so much honor and so much affection and so grateful that Jiva Pavana Prabhu, Banki Bihari and Govinda Rupini Didi and the disciples of Srila Prabhupada come and encourage us and help us to do this seva. When we know you are there, we know that if anything is wrong, you will help us. We know that you have enough affection for us, that if we need chastisement, you'll be able to give it to us and we'll be able to take it from you. So today, I know that we're still going to do the Mangalam Bhavatu because we do it in the remembrance of our Guru Dev, but I'm offering the flowers of my heart's pranam to you again and again for always being there for us and with us, and for being such a loving and kind and generous uncle on the path of bhakti. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. And Karunamai, happy birthday to you too. So do Jiva Pavana Prabhu and Karunamai.
Okay, so both of you, please see yourself sitting, kneeling down for
In front of-
auspicious, in front of Thakurji,
you-
Gurudev and Guru Varga, and okay,
Put
here
it
we
on
go.
this.
All right, and all the devotees have your virtual flowers ready.
Okay, say it.
Okay, so we should bless them both with auspiciousness. Mangalam bhavatu.
Mangalam bhavatu.
Guru nishta bhavatu.
Guru Nishta bhavatu.
Krishna bhaktir bhavatu.
Krishna bhaktir bhavatu.
Radha dasyam bhavatu.
Radha dasyam bhavatu.
So, today, may you.
As our Gurudev would say, may you be happy now. May you be happy into the future. May you be happy in your next life and on into perfection. May you be happy always. Happy means may you have bhakti, bhav, and prem. Okay, so now Kishori Mohan Prabhu will sing a quick Harinam in Govinda Damo, and you will have darshan of Thakurji. So thank you again. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Oh my God, there's flower petals everywhere. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Jai Śrīla Sanātana Gosvāmī Vishnu Priya Devi ki jai, Śrī Saraswati Puja ki jai, Śrī Gosvāmī ki jai, Śrī Didi ki jai, Raghunandan Thakur ki jai, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai, Śrī Bhakti Kamal Govinda Goswāmī Mahārāja ki jai, and all the rest that I don't know or can't remember ki jai. Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Make sure you get the flowers too. Govinda Damodarāṣṭakam, Govinda So Sudevi already did the thank yous, but thank you again for giving us the opportunity to remember the beautiful teachings of our Gurudev and Guru Varga, and also to remember these beautiful personalities on their day. Also, thank you. We cannot thank you. We are indebted to each and every one of you for daily giving us the opportunity to endeavor to serve our Gurudev by following his order, which is our life and soul. And we look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. Dandava
Pranam, dear Vaishnavas.
Radhe Radhe,
Radhe Radhe.
Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki jai, Satchidananda Gaura Hari ki
Jai, Jivriya Modamani,
Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe. Sham. Varanga.